So Alpesh, let's just start out with you. I want you to talk to people, and now you're going live over in Seller Tribe 2. So, I mean, theoretically, this is what's happening. So I want you to tell them when you started selling on Amazon, and then whatever time it was, and then whenever you ended up landing in Amazon Seller Tribe. So, and my understanding, it was not very long ago, just a year or 3 years ago. Is that
No,
correct?
just
No,
a year ago.
just a year ago. Okay, start
I
at the
mean,
beginning.
to be precise, I think it's year and a half. I think was the January 5th, January 20th, and I believe so. Tribe 3 launched around January 15, something like that.
Gotcha.
And I was reading one of the seminar or podcast or something, and I know I heard the Gary's automated system or something like that, and I was like, wow, this is interesting.
Hey, Tracy, how are
My
you?
little one is like troubling right now, but yeah, so that's the when I kind of joined the group, and I actually joined Tribe just to join Tribe, the special program,
Yeah,
because
just to
I
join the coaching.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a different. I kind of like to learn a little faster. I can't wait for like the easy route. So I joined. I remember you were going to Philippines, I believe so. That
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
around the
Yeah,
crazy time.
we rolled out Tribe 3. And like the next day, I was supposed to fly out to the Philippines, which turns out to be a mistake because it was during a snowstorm and an ice storm. Um, Cute, Dan. Go back to your bubbles. So, so you came in and Tribe 3, and you just hit the ground running because you went straight into Gary's high level and very intensive
And
coaching program.
the best thing is, Miss Gay, I had no idea what ONRA means until I actually joined Tribe 3. So I think I always tell this story, like, I had to Google it, what OA means and RM means. I couldn't find anything because just to like, and then I put it like OA Amazon, like, what does it even mean? What OA means? And that was around like January, the end of January when you let me join Tribe 3. So that time, yeah, and that was funny. Like, I had no idea, and my wife is like, "Why are you joining something? I have no idea about it," I said, you know me already. I had no idea when I got married to you. See, we are together.
Well, you do live in an adventure, that's for sure. I don't even think you saw your wife until you were about to get married. Is
No,
that true? I
no.
mean, you've
Yeah,
been,
that's true. That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, it
So,
was arranged marriage.
well, so sight unseen,
Mhm.
I guess Amazon Seller Tribes turned out to be a pretty good deal for you. I mean, somehow you've made a go of it, either in spite of us or because of us. What do you think?
I mean, you can see my shirt if you want. I don't want to tell anything else. It's right there. And you know why my because.
That's right, because
Yeah.
Tribe. So you hit the ground running. You went through Gary's Tribe 3 coaching program. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you just rolled right over into the fall in Tribe 4 coaching.
Yeah. Hmm.
And you've also taken Tribe 5 coaching, which we just came out of. And
Unfortunately, you guys don't have an automatic billing system. Otherwise, I'm in all the way till 100 because I think I'll be by 60, 70 by the time. So I think I'm guessing till 100 number I'll be able to join.
okay. So Gary, you listen to that. If you're on, you can just we can just put him on auto billing and just expect
Yeah.
him to be with us until he's well. Alpesh, by the time you hit that age, Gary and I will be long since sitting on the front porch singing old songs and done with just about everything. But we appreciate you being here. Now, something exciting just happened in your sales, and I want you to share it with the people. Now, we've got several people live on Amazon Seller Tribe now, as well as in the room. And so I want you to share with the people what just happened to you.
I mean, I just hit 750 K per, like, a 12-month rolling. And then I didn't tell you, actually yesterday I hit 400K for this year only. So that's additional.
Wow. So two major milestones. And in Amazon Seller Tribe, 750,000 or more in a rolling 12-month period or a calendar year. We look at either way. That earns the Amazon Seller Tribe member this coveted silver lanyard. And Krupa, you're on. Good. I'm so glad you're on here. Your wife's on here. She gets to be on, even though she's got to babysit the kids in the next room. But Krupa, this silver lanyard is yours and Alpesh's for all of the hard work you guys have done and the way you've learned to scale your business. So now Alpesh is a little hard to do since I'm in Branson, Missouri, and you're in New Jersey. But I need you to reach as far as you can, and you're going to get your silver lanyard status. Woohoo, Vic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shout out to Alpesh and Krupa. Yay for their silver lanyard, earning 750,000 in revenue in a rolling 12 months. So we're so excited. Krupa, yay. Here, look, see, I'm pushing it to you. It's coming at you, darling. Reach. This is your lanyard. And of course, I know you guys have your sights set on this one. The gold lanyard, and I know the gold lanyard's going to be coming your way very, very soon. So if I was able to be there personally and hang this around your neck, you two, it would just bring me such great joy. But I want everybody to shout out. Yeah, Eric saying congrats. Marilyn saying exciting. Vic, that's so awesome. Laurie saying woohoo. Yay. We're so excited for you guys reaching that selling level. So that being said, now let's just go into some Q&A and let's talk about new sellers. One of the reasons I wanted you to be on here with me tonight, Alpesh, is I remember that story that you said that when you joined Amazon Seller Tribe, and then the very next day, I think it was, you signed up for the coaching program. You didn't even know what RA, retail arbitrage, or online arbitrage was.
Nope.
And so, I mean, really very new to what was going on. But all you knew is you really wanted to grow a business, and Amazon was a growing opportunity. So tell about some of the places where you kind of had to kind of feel your way through and kind of stumble around and figure out what to do. What were some of those kind of early stumbling blocks to you?
I mean, there are a lot. I mean, it's hard to even put it on a wording, but I remember I had a I think coaching call with Gary in Tribe 3. And I asked him, said like, okay, tell me, I'm like, consider I have zero knowledge. You tell me what would be the first step, second step, third step, fourth step, fifth step, kind of that. So he told me, okay, these are the tools you needs to continue business. You need these things, whatever. So whatever he teach in the tribe, but this was before even I watch any videos, because I told him, I said, just tell me what I need, including all the shipping, like inventory lab, reprice. And trust me, before I sell my any product, I had all of them. Like right after my coaching call, I just signed up for everything, and I text him right away. Said, hey, I just want to let you know that I signed up everything, and then I learned how to use them. And again, thanks to coaching group, because we had like individual like a coach for that particular system. So I was able to kind of learn that quickly, because they had like all this walkthrough around. So for me, it was just back and forth, and that's it. And then everybody keeps saying scan. So I remember because I still work full time, right? So I only weekend I get a time. So I went to Walmart, I believe so. Yeah, I think Walmart. And then we started scanning, and as usual, I could not sell nothing, but I could get a sense what I need to go. So I knew that, okay, toys I was not able to sell. I was like, okay, how can I get the ungated in toys. So it just, I go there, find out what I can sell versus what I cannot sell, and then kind of figure it out where I want to go from there, and started making a list of the like brands and everything. So yeah, just scan it. There was still, I remember, was the first item we found, it was pretty good, like kind of a, I don't even know was profitable, but it just, I was able to sell it. And
Right.
that was
Right.
very interesting for me. I
Come
was
on.
so
Come
happy.
on.
Wow, I can sell this thing, and I'm just brand new. I didn't even know I could sell anything. So another thing I think I learned over the time is about the expectation, because I people start, or anybody anything start, they just right away want to jump to the, like, big guns.
Sure.
And me, I'm a different, because I had no expectation, because I had no
Right.
idea. So even I could
Right.
sell one product, I was super happy that
Right.
yes, I could sell this, and that was amazing. So yeah, that's what it is.
So, you really your journey, and for those of you who haven't met Alpesh before, we did an interview with him, I think when he hit the 250,000 level, or maybe when he hit the 500,000 level. And you really got to hear his story, his whole story about where he's come from. And the guy knows how to endure. He knows how to get in there and really endure and hustle. And sometimes in any new thing you try, you got to have that hustle stage. And part of it is trying to find out what works, what doesn't work. And Alpesh had the great benefit of jumping straight into the coaching program. So his learning curve was kind of shortened a little bit. But at the end of the day, there's still some of those same hurdles he had to overcome. One was the ungating issue. You had brands that were gated. You had maybe a couple of categories that you were gated in. And we all had some sort of restrictions when we started selling. No matter how long we've been selling, we had some sort of restrictions, or have run into some restrictions since our beginning. And so we've all had to jump these hurdles. For example, I'm doing something a little different right now. I'm having to seek ungating in stuff that I've been ungated in for 7 years. So now I'm having to go put myself back in the beginner's seat and see what some of you are jumping, those hurdles you're trying to jump. And you'll find in Amazon Seller Tribe lots of information about ungating. So go into there and use that search bar. It's going to be really helpful to you. So Benny, I want you to jump in here in just a minute and ask questions as we go along. And we're going to ask Alpesh to help us answer these questions. And I'm going to try to monitor the live stream as well, and see if we see some things there. So don't hesitate to jump in. And Tammy, I think you and Marilyn were on. Don't hesitate to pop on with questions at any time. I think my understanding is you can hop in and out of Messenger Room, if that's... Alpesh, did you see Dan's comment?
Yep. I was laughing already.
You're all hustling him in the pool. So one of the things that people are running into that are new sellers, the ungating issue, and the other thing that people run into as new sellers are those question marks about, can I sell it? If I get a letter from Vores or Vantage BP or Shark Mouth or whatever the name of that one is. Hi, Sierra. Some of the other companies, I can't remember all the scary letter company names. If they send me something and say, hey, you're not an authorized seller of such and so product, should I be scared? Should I be concerned? Should I, dry up and go away? Does that mean that's a sign from God that I shouldn't be selling on Amazon? So lots of that, kind of thinking comes in with new people. So Alpesh, what do you think about, you addressed some ungating. You were like, hey, I want to sell this. I made a list and I just went after them. I just started knocking down those gates.
The one thing also I remember what Gary told me because I ask him mostly a lot of new seller. I'm still new, but I mean, all of us have the same question when we start. Is that like, how do we know where we want to start from? Like where do we start from? And especially me, have no idea what OER means. I don't even know if I could sell product like that. I wasn't even scared to go to Walmart and buy it. I was like, wait, what if somebody sue me because I'm buying from Walmart and just ordering? And you know, I'm an immigrant. What if they kick me out of the country just because I'm selling something? You know? So that was more scary. But then again, I just went. But Gary told me to get a list. That's the best way to do. So I think he suggests me to get a Saturday list because that's most economical list to get it. Because you know, I told him, I said I can't even sell any item. So I remember what Gary told me. He says it's not about what you cannot sell; it's about what you want to sell. So that kind of I liked it because what I started doing is I started observing a list every week, like say one week, like you know, there's so I mean, and then I understand that okay, there are coming so many toys categories rather than so I started looking at the categories. So it was the toys, and then I found I think it was the documentation, and some of you guys help us about the what is the EE distribution and some
Right.
chef, right, all those stuff. So I
Right.
started working on
For
it. I was like,
toys. Yeah.
yeah, and then I just follow the toys, and then I learn. I mean, I did mistakes in my first order, then second order, but then third I understand that I can have a two brands with one order. I was like, oh wait, this is even
Right.
better. I can
Right.
kill two birds in one. So
Right.
yep. So I started doing that, and within a month or month and a half, I believe, so I started selling toys, and that's how I started going to Walmart every weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
So,
that's the thing.
so here's what's so important. I think as a beginner, you have to look at those what looks like a blockade or it looks like a hurdle or whatever, and just know that that's just common and ordinary, and everyone has to pass through that. And so
Right.
you didn't take that personally. You know, you're just like, well, you know, Gary said we run into this. You know, Gay says we run into this. So this is just something we have to go through. So what I like about what you did too was you started knocking down those walls with the ungating early on in your year, as early as you could, so that by Q4 you were ungated in a lot of different brands and a lot of different categories. One thing that will happen with Amazon that some people don't know is as you get your selling history up, maybe you buy fast moving items, and maybe you buy 10 of this brand, 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 shallow and wide, like Gary always teaches new sellers. As you start doing that, then Amazon begins to pick up that your account is a safe account to promote to the customer. And so then they begin to auto ungate you in certain brands and certain categories as well. I remember, and Tracy's on here right now, and I remember, Tracy, do you remember the day that the gates fell down for you in grocery? You fell through a rabbit hole. At that time, grocery was gated. That was some year, I can't remember what year, but grocery was gated. And she really, really wanted to sell some grocery items. And she just kept trying. And all of a sudden the gates opened. We've got some other sellers on here. You remember when the floodgates opened, you were like restricted in almost everything. And then, you know, 4 months, 3 months, 6 months later, you were like all of a sudden able to sell almost anything you wanted to. And so that's just as you grow your account and your selling history with Amazon gets noticed, and then they begin to ungate you. Another thing to do is every day that you get from us, and this is just one of the free benefits of being an Amazon Seller Tribe, we used to charge $24.99 for this, but as a gesture of goodwill and also to be a blessing to people during COVID, when COVID hit, we no longer charged for the ASIN Advantage.
I
And
paid for it, by the way. Yeah.
you
So
you
when I
were
started,
one of the subscribers. Yes.
yeah, Gary told me to join that too, and I joined it. And actually, that also helped me to, I think, ungated in a lot of big brands because I was
Right.
already like, my account already was ungated in a lot of stuff, and that was helped me to get ungated in Nike, Adidas, and all those other brands too. And of
Not a
course,
number of brands. Now, okay, so let's just use some major brands that people think of. Like if you see a commercial on TV, you're going to probably see a major brand. So that's top of mind. People think that way. Let's use Nike as an example. A lot of people are like, I want to sell Nike. If I don't sell Nike, I probably will never be successful in the history of ever. And that's not true because I sold zero Nike for probably the first 3, maybe 4 years of my selling history. I really specialized in the beauty category, and we sold several $1,000,000 worth. So don't get fixated on one brand, but let's use Nike as an example. Most new sellers are going to be ungated in brands like Hanes, like think of some other lower end athletic wear brands. Maybe just think of walking through Walmart and going to the athletic wear section for men and then for women. I think Avia or something like that is a brand for women of athletic items, maybe yoga pants and things like that. So think of that and go through and scan those kinds of items. You're going to hit some every once in a while, socks or something like that that's going to be ungated for you. Now, successfully sell those. Maybe you're not going to make a killing on it. Don't worry about making your fortune on that because that's just your gateway to where you're really going. But when Amazon starts seeing that those minor brands are selling, that you're taking care of the customer, everything is going well, then the likelihood of being ungated in major brands and even auto ungated in major brands becomes very, very quick and easy. Yeah, Maryland Champion could be something. Yeah, if you're ungated in Champion, sell Champion. And it starts triggering with Amazon. You can be trusted in that. Now, take that same concept from athletic wear, go over to, maybe the kitchen aisle. All right. No, I can't sell Cuisinart. Oh, woe is me. I'll never be an Amazon seller if I can't sell Cuisinart. No, go over there and find a minor brand. Colleen and I were at Dick's Five and Dime last night, and some of you are on here, and you were here in Branson, and Dick's Five and Dime in downtown Branson. Well, it's an old-time Five and Dime, and it has every imaginable brand in the history of ever. And I was going through scanning stuff and clicking auto ungate, or request approval, request approval, request approval. I probably got ungated in 5 more brands I didn't even know existed. And then there were some that could easily be profitable inventory. It opened my eyes. So that's why we say scan everything. So one of the things you can do is, look for brands that are similar in that particular category, but maybe would be considered lower end brands, and try to sell those. I'm thinking like in TJ Maxx, for example, somebody might scan through there and go, well, I can't sell Under Armour, but you could sell Head, H-E-A-D. I don't know if you're familiar with that brand. You might be able to sell RBX. I think that's a store brand for Macy's or something like that. I don't know for sure, but it's a lesser known brand, but it's in the same category. It's in the same like and kind, and that can trigger a lot of auto ungating. A lot of people don't know this, and so it's kind of like, when I was raised on a farm, you got several different kinds of animals in your cow herd, right? You got the one that's going to run straight at the gate, right at the gate post. That's the strongest part of the gate, and just knock themselves out. Then you got the other ones that are going to look for the weak spots. Be smart like those other ones and look for those weak spots in Amazon's system and go in and wiggle in through those places until you can get yourself ungated in places that you think will be more profitable. Understand that there are more listings being created right now, this second, this instant on Amazon right now. There are listings being created for brands that have never appeared on Amazon before. And you can have access to those potentially profitable brands. Alpes, one of the other things you did was the list, daily finds list. So how would you describe the daily finds list, and how would you explain to newcomers how it can benefit them?
Yeah, it's just like I said earlier, okay, it's about like how you look at the list. If you look at it that you cannot sell anything, of course you cannot sell it because that's the reality. You just started. But if you look at as a possible brand, because let's say you have a list coming almost every day, one of your lists I think I had one your daily list and one the Saturday list, the two lists I had it. So that way I have a 6 days a week list. And what we used to do is we used to sit down and see. I mean, I'm sure I was able to sell at least a one or two item. And I said earlier, sometimes, I mean, it's not necessary that everything is profitable, but we just sell it kind of just to kind of get going. And then we started making like an assumption, like, okay, kind of a analysis, like, okay, which are the main categories every day we are getting? Because my aim become that I want to get the maximum use of this list because I paid for it. And anything I paid, I really want to make it worth. So I'm like, okay, how can I make it worth it? So I was like, okay, which other categories comes in this one? And as usual, the toys was the highest category. And I'm like, okay, let me work on the toys. So I decided kind of make a list of the brands. First was the category, and then I decided on the brand. Now, here's the thing, when we try to go everything at the same time, that's where we get confused and it's overwhelmed. So what I did was I didn't try to focus on anything but just the toys in the beginning because it's easily to ungated. And then yeah, you don't need like a special skill. You just kind of order product, find the product, and get it ungated. And then it also helped me to ungate it in the brands. So I think for 6-7 months, I had hardly sold anything else but the toys because that's what my target is. And once I start getting understanding, once I was getting autopilot a little bit, getting better, then I started looking into the bigger picture, like, okay, what are the brands or what are the category I should jump in? And then, of course, that's why the tribe there, we met in a tribe 5, tribe 4, kind of, that kind of push me. Okay, these are the area I have to target, these are the stuff I need to look into it. And then that's how I started. So yeah, so again, it's just all started from the list, like how you look at the list. So use it as a analytical kind of, rather than buying it. So it's like, you know, you're getting $100 a month or something. I don't remember at this point because I have more, but like $100 and then something $25 for something like that. For the, I think it was $125 investment on all. I had idea for 1 month. I said I want to invest myself 1 month. If it doesn't work it out, okay, I'll cancel it, but let me give my best. So for me, if I'm paying already, if I'm in the Amazon, I'm sure I can invest $125 to $150 or even a $200 in the beginning. And that was my kind of investment in order to start the business.
So, you know, a lot of people look at, when they come into the space, they might look at a daily finds list in a wrong way. And Gary really put the, put the whole thing in perspective one day when he said that somebody came to him and said, you know, well, the daily finds list is $99 a month for your first list. How do I know if that list is profitable? And Gary said, that list is profitable if you sell $100 a month off that list.
Yep.
Plus you $99. You make $1 off of some finds that you find during that month in the list. Consider it profitable. Now, it's not the profit that you'll end up growing into as people who feature online arbitrage, like Gary and Clay Seawald and others, you know, where almost 100% of their business is online arbitrage. But it's going to get you started. Just have the right mentality toward that list. Tracy is offering a really great thought. She says, also go through your list each day and check each ASIN on that list and request approval. Even if you know you can't sell that, there's going to come a moment, and we've got people on here I know have experienced this. They've gone through and they're like, well, I can't sell that brand. I can't sell that brand. But just for the heck of it, they clicked request approval one more time and the gate opened. And then we always hear these woo woo, you know, these shout outs in Tribe. And it gets really exciting that somebody's like, well, finally, you know, now I get to sell such and so. So use that technique as well. Tammy Putnam is saying from the time you enter a new store, like a new to you store, like an outlet type store, what are your first steps? Are you searching for a manager to have a conversation with, or do you just jump into scanning? What do you do, Alpesh?
It definitely depends on my mood and I'm tired I am. No, to be honest, I mean, whenever we go to a store, we don't have any expectation because I have a very bad habit and I mean, experience, I would say that, you know, I had a lot of expectation. I went in and nothing come up, like I couldn't find manager. They were not able to help. I got disappointed. So now I just go in the store as like, okay, exploring, like, okay, you know, let me just scan few item and see. So first of all, I mean, I need to know the brand. I mean, if I'm trying, I'll just scan few item, make sure that even they are listed on Amazon. The second thing is, yes, definitely I look for a store manager or somebody like whoever walking there and just ask them, hey, listen, I'm a bulk buyer, you know, I just want to make sure, like, you know, what is your policy and procedure? I mean, I can't take away from Dan because that's the one, he gave it in the Tribe coaching round. He gave us advice and that's him. Same techniques I use. I nothing special, just go. 8 out of 10 times they says no. I mean, again, if it's a big brand, you don't have to worry about, because outlet mostly they have a lot of people going there. Sometimes I keep an eye on the people. When they see that somebody walking out of the store with like 10 bags, I know there's something there because they might be selling. So I just go and ask, you know, because if somebody bought 10 bags, means there is a hint right there that this store particularly, either somebody knows how to clean the store or somebody know how to sell from that store. So I'm like, go either way, I just go in. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm not that great. So I wouldn't be the perfect person to answer that, to be honest, because I hardly have like a weekend that's like 6-7 hours to do RA, and that's all. So we go what we know, and like 9 out of 10 times my wife is tired, so we just kind of come back home.
Right. Well, and you've got little kids too, so
Yeah,
that's also an issue.
Oh,
So
I forgot my wife is
juggling it all.
I can't say that.
You know, Benny, you got kids. You're out there in Portland, and actually, Benny, you are in Sweetsville. And I will tell you this, Benny, I'm just going to be really honest with you. If you don't take Tribe 6 coaching as soon as it opens, I'm going to personally fly out to Portland, Oregon, and I'm going to examine your head, because I did a little research on you, buddy boy, and I just want you to know you guys are so positioned so amazingly well for massive success. And if I didn't communicate that to you the other day very well, I'm going to communicate it to you right now, because you're on the verge of something that is going to be awesome. You know, Alpesh has been in the business now for about 18 months, you know, and now he's poised. Before Q4, he will very likely hit his gold lanyard. So the coveted gold lanyard, which is the $1 million in revenue or more. And Alpesh, did it just blow you away when you saw all those gold lanyard sellers get up on the stage at the Springfield meetup? Did that just knock you out?
Yep, I had a goosebump actually. I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, is this a real, or am I dreaming? Like, how can this many people? And I mean, I knew most of them personally, and that was like, wait a minute, I didn't even know these guys are millionaires. They're so humble, they are so like down to earth. I was like, they are selling this much business. I had no idea about. So yes, wow, that was amazing, like great feeling, and that was a motivational too. Like that kept pushing me. I was like, okay, next time it's time to be there too with them.
Come on. And, you know, very, very likely, buddy, very, very likely, Lord willing, and very, very likely, in September in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's going to be you and Croup up there on the stage with the Gold Lanterns. I'm so excited for that. But Benny, you and Diana are also very, very well positioned. And I can't go into all of it. Why here? I don't want to give some secrets away that I know that's going to be really super helpful to you. But you're well positioned for some great success going forward. Tammy Putnam, by the way, says to you, Alpesh, that you gave a perfect answer. Thank you. Always love hearing other people's process. Tammy, usually how I do it now is, and I know you didn't ask me, so I'm going to put my 2 cents worth in anyway. But usually how I do it now is I don't. Because we are so blessed and we have some amazing RA buyers that just are on fire. And so they buy, a lot of great items for us now. So Colleen and I are getting to be take a little step back from the hustle mode and move more into building the company like we really want to see it. Alpesh, that's going to go very, very fast for you. Now, Benny and Diana, you're still in the hustle mode, and this is very, very possible. I did the hustle mode, full-time Amazon, full-time working a job for 18 months, drove an hour to work and an hour back from work. I did it for 18 months. It's doable, and I'm old. And I did it. Alpesh is still doing it. He's getting on the train. And Alpesh, what's your commute now?
I mean, still 2 hours each way every day.
2 hours each way every day. The man.
I walk, I take bus, I take train, and I drive to the parking lot. So it's like I do everything in one way and then return the same process.
Yeah. And still, he and his wife building an amazing Amazon business. Now, got a lot of systems in place. And yeah, Juan Lopez is on here. He's $1 million seller. He and Jaylene. And Juan is still working at the hospital, still doing full time. I know Thomas Graham is a Gold Lantern seller. He's still working the conservation department and still building his business. It's over $1 million. He's got his systems in place. And he does awesome with online arbitrage. So it's really, really possible. Now, let me ask you this question. Alpesh, did you do any merchant fulfilled during the 18 months you've been in the Amazon business?
A lot.
Tell me about your experience with merchant fulfilled. What did you find that was difficult, and what did you find that was beneficial?
It was definitely not difficult to start with because we had a proper training for that, like, in a tribe coaching round, Linda Nelson, and actually she even called me personally, I mean, because we are Jersey kind of thing. So we're like, okay, and she helped me out. She walked me through all the settings and everything. And that's it. I mean, still, I didn't change anything. I don't touch anything what she set me up. I said, I don't want to mess it up. So I had the setting set up, and during the COVID time, that's mainly actually I started buying a lot of toys from Target, and I actually did all of them merchant fulfill from home. And I learned with USPS provide mostly the free box, and so I kind of use those box in order to start with. Yeah, it's a little bit work because I have to come home and then kind of prep it and then ship it, kind of stuff. But again, it's a part of the business, and definitely it's not that hard. Of course, it's a hard work afterwards because you have to ship it and prep it and everything. But like I said, it's just a part and parcel of the business. If you want to do it, that's how you're gonna do it. So, but it's love it because I can sell product like right away, and then money comes within like 2 weeks. So that's the best thing, because right now, sometime, I don't know if you remember, I had some issues with the FBA item that everything, I'm living in East Coast and everything was going to the California some reason because I had some issue with my system. So actually I was afraid to ship FBA because the shipping was killing me because everything was going to California.
Wow.
and
Wow.
and
Wow.
that
Wow.
and that I didn't saw until Try 4 meetup. Actually, that's why I
Mm-hmm.
give credits to Jamison and uh, Nick.
Nick Trump. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yep.
Nick Jump, right. So
Mm-hmm.
he's the other one who helped me out to kind of fix it. And then actually I started doing, but until then I was more focused on FBM also, because that was
Right.
more helpful to me. Because FBA, if you go to California, and this, it takes like month and a half to 2 months. And by the time it's available, price drop and I'm lose money.
Right.
But
Right.
FBM, I sell it in like 24 hours, 48 hours, even in 1 week. If price remains same, I sell it faster and get the money right away, and I can flip it
Yes,
again.
and so that's one of the real strengths of merchant fulfilled. So where you actually take the item from your warehouse, garage, living room, wherever you have it, and you ship it directly to the customer's doorstep. That method is a great way to improve your cash flow. So because the money lands in your account more, almost immediately, as soon as the order goes through, and that helps with cash flow issues. So I saw a post from George, I think it was. He was asking about FBA versus FBM, and he was seeing FBM as a way to maybe mitigate his cash flow issues. So he doesn't have his money laying out there in inventory that's not selling fast because it's tied up at the warehouse or whatever. And Alpes, you know how many delays we were having last year
Oh, horrible.
with inventory, was tough. So, yeah, Matthew DeGlopper is on here now. Hey, the mighty Titan, Matthew, shout out to you, man. He loves MFN, Merchant Fulfilled Network, or FBM, Fulfilled by Merchant, whatever you want to call it. Matthew, tell me, what was your number again in Merchant Fulfilled? You had a massive number. I can't even remember what it was. But stuff that you were doing. And guys, many of you already saw Sean Mahak's interview, and Alpes, you and I met them personally down there in Kentucky, and then again in Springfield, where we saw them face to face, and how they did $1 million the first year out of the gate in
Yeah.
grocery, and majority of it was merchant fulfilled.
Yeah.
So you got to find what works for you. Now, what works for me, I don't like to do FBM because my girls are trained to do FBA. They ship from the warehouse. Everything is kind of systematized there, and I don't like to get underfoot and mess with that. But we have shipped pools, and we have shipped freezers, and we have shipped beauty items. We have shipped meltables and that sort of thing, FBM. Yeah, so Matthew says 1.35 million in the last 12 months in merchant fulfilled. Okay.
Matthew is a machine, by the way, just to let you guys
Matthew
know.
is a machine, by the way. The man
Yeah.
never sleeps, and he has a big crown, and he carries the Titan Triad. Yeah, he is awesome. And doing merchant fulfilled was a huge boon to his business, especially during COVID. So don't leave that off of your table unless there may be a personal reason, like you just don't have the space at the house, or you got little kids climbing all over stuff and getting into things, something like that. All right. So, Alpesh, answer this question for me. Which is better, online arbitrage or retail arbitrage?
That's $1 million question right there. No, it actually depends on what works for you. I started as a retail arbitrage because I was home that time, and I really loved it because I go to store, I buy the product, right away ship it, so the turnaround time is very less. So I buy it, ship it on the same day or the next day. So 24, 48 hours, my product is out of the door. Versus OA, you kind of order it, you wait until the product comes, and you inspect again and everything. But again, even though I loved RA in the past, but then I realized, because I live in New Jersey and somebody told me there are a billion people doing in New Jersey same thing what I do, and that's the reason I never find anything in the stores. So I started switching to the OA, and that worked perfectly for me actually. So for if you ask me, I would say, and I would take OA all day long, because I mean, right now I'm here. I don't have to do nothing. I mean, like I told you, even the number I hit, I hardly do anything now. It's all automatic. I have a buyers. I have a, like, the I have a Todd prep center. They do it everything for me, and that's all what you need. I mean, I just my wife still buys it, so because she likes it, not that she has to do it. I am yet to buy a single product online. I can't sit by the computer and do something like that. I
I
did
can't
not
either.
buy a single product yet. I do RS still, like I said, only on the weekend, because that's the time. So we have a Saturday off. I mean, usually we have a system like that. The Saturday, if we are planning to go like any outlet mall, that's only Saturday. Whatever we can do, we'll do that. Sunday, it's completely off, just like a family time. But that's how we kind of create it. So yeah, I mean, if you ask me, if you don't have a time, and if you I mean, it's hard for you to leave your job, because everybody, most of them in the beginning, they have a full-time job. OA is way to go. But if you home sitting watching TV, just get out and do RA. I mean, that's the best way to do it. I mean, that's where you want to start it, kind of. So that's, I mean, I hope makes sense.
No, it does. And actually, you answered it really, really well, because you're saying everyone has a different situation. Everyone has different opportunity, and everyone has different resources
Yeah.
available to them. So, I had a gal ask me during one of the coaching rounds, and she said, I'm running into some issues being able to spend my whole budget, and get enough inventory in for the next cycle. So I get my payout. I want to spend that entire payout in new inventory, but I'm just not finding the inventory. And what should I do? So I said to her, what do you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand? What do you have available to you? See, I live in a totally different region of the United States than you do. I don't know what's available to you. Do you have several outlet malls? Do you have several retail centers, several Walmart supercenters, Target supercenters? See, in my small town in Branson, Missouri, I don't even have a Target supercenter. I have a Target, but it's not a supercenter. I have one Walmart. Otherwise, I have to drive an hour to get to another Walmart. Rex and those guys live an hour, 45 minutes to an hour up the road from me, and they've got 5 Walmarts. Or I have to drive south almost an hour to get to another Walmart. So what is in your hand? You have to look at what's available to you. What other stores do you have around you? Do you have TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, what's that one?
Home goods.
Home Goods, yeah. Okay. Home Goods.
Burlington.
Do you have Dick's Sporting Goods? Do you have Academy Sports? Do you have Walmarts? Do you have Targets? Do you live in, within a lot of retail? If you do, then RA might be the method for you, especially if your kids are in school, you don't have childcare duties during the day, whatever, that you can go and hit those areas. On the other hand, like one girl I'm thinking of right now, she's a young mom and she's got an infant, and she does really, really well with online arbitrage, because she sits down when the baby's taking a nap, and she's able to buy as much during that baby's nap time as she can spend, as much capital as she has to spend as she's growing her business. And then a couple days later, when the inventory comes in while the baby's napping, then she's shipping and prepping, or prepping and shipping, and she's doing the hustle. As you grow from the hustle, you'll learn how to train other people to do the hustle, and then move on into managing the hustlers, right? And that's a big part of what we teach.
Can't wait for that.
In the coaching round, right? Yeah, Benny, you're going to get there. I promise you. I promise.
Gay, I want to say something real quick. Last night, for the first time ever, we actually did some RA because you recommended it. We're actually on a little vacation right now for the week in Central Oregon, and there's an outlet mall just on accident, not too far from here, about 20 minutes away. And for the first time ever, I walked into a Nike and I started scanning. And it went well, I think. I had my first bulk buy of, at least for us, it's bulk. I bought 18 pairs of shoes.
Come on.
Wow.
Come
But yeah, I
on.
got to say, the guy walked up to me and he's like, "Are you a bulk buyer?" I got to tell you, I nearly dropped the bags and ran out the door. I wasn't sure what to say.
But you just
Because
finally
it
told
just,
him the truth. The honest truth is, I'd like to be. I'd very much
yeah,
like to be.
yeah. But you know what? He was a nice guy. He told me kind of how it works, what the limits are, and he didn't seem put off by it at all. It seemed somewhat normal, although he said in this part of Oregon it doesn't happen as much. We're kind of in Bend is what it's called. I don't know if you know the
Right.
area.
Right.
Portland, it happens a lot more back home. But it was a good experience, I think. I just wasn't sure how much to buy. I'm still hoping stuff will sell. I took a picture of it and sent it to my brother. And I said, you know what, if this stuff doesn't sell, we all get free shoes because I don't know what to do exactly. So we'll
So,
see.
so thank you for telling me that. Let me encourage you with this. Actually, the way Amazon Seller Tribe began, how it became founded was I was scanning in our Nike outlet store one day, and I could see out of the corner of my eye this young man, and I could tell he was scanning too. But I was kind of mystified because I knew Colleen, my sister, was working the other side of the store. Usually we split. She'll go to the women's, and I'll go to the men's, or vice versa. And we split, and then we meet in the middle. And so she's working another part of the store. I'm working this part of the store. I could see him scanning. And so I'm just pulling out the shoes. I've just got my thing going. This was before the limits came in, the COVID limits. And so we're going to town. We probably have maybe $4,000 worth of shoes out, and just going after it. And he kind of sidles up to me after a while, and he says, "I think I'm doing what you're doing, but I must not be doing it very well." Because he has like 2 or 3 shoes in his hand. And I said, "Well, are you an Amazon seller?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, might really help you if you joined a group of sellers or something, and you could kind of learn a little more. And I said, or just tag along with me. If you got time, tag along with me for the next 30 minutes or so, and I'll teach you everything I know here. So we scanned through, and kind of at the end of that time, his eyes were bugging out, and he's like, we've got boxes, and boxes and boxes stacked up the front. That's when they used to let you do that. And so he comes up to me and he says, wow, he says, I learned more with you in this 30, 40 minutes than I've learned just in the time in the year and a half that I've been part-time selling. And I said, well, you joined a group. I said, you're in a group or anything? He goes, yeah, I'm in this group called Amazing Freedom, but they really deal with private label more than what I'm doing. I was like, Amazing Freedom? I know Andy Slamans personally. So that evening, I messaged Andy and I told him what happened. And I said, have you ever thought of starting an arbitrage group, kind of for those of us who probably will never do PL or aren't ready to do PL yet or don't have the capital to do PL yet? And he goes, Gay Lisby, I can't believe you're messaging me. I told Nathan if we could ever get Gay Lisby to do something with us, we should jump on it. So I'm not bragging, I'm quoting. And that's how Amazon Seller Tribe was born, out of that moment where I'm looking at this guy and he's kind of nervous, like, am I doing something? Am I doing it wrong? Am I, is this illegal? Am I going to be run out of the store? And just coached him there for those few minutes. And that's what led us to start Amazon Seller Tribe. But Benny, I just want to encourage you with that, because what you just did is kind of like you dipped your toe in the swimming pool. Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm going to say to you. Now's the time to dive in the deep end. Wouldn't you say, Alpesh?
Yes, definitely. I mean, you did better than I did, actually. I didn't have the courage to buy 18 pair of shoes. I mean, I bought like 4 or 5. I was like, no, I'm going to wait until I sell this. I want to make sure I didn't do any mistakes. So you already like way ahead of me. That's good. Amazing.
Well, I had someone really smart tell me to do it. That's what it is.
I can't comment now because my wife is watching too.
Yeah.
You know, Alpesh, I will say this, Benny, you know, Alpesh has modeled this, and you have already modeled this too, and I want to draw attention to it, is when an experienced seller tells you to do something, just do it. Even if you don't understand why, just act on the knowledge. All right. So there's a difference between knowledge and understanding. Okay. You can have knowledge without understanding. You can definitely have understanding without knowledge, which that makes you a fool. But so when you have knowledge, but you don't yet have understanding, if that source of that knowledge can be trusted, just act on it. Just do it. Exactly what you did, Benny. When Gary told Alpesh, you need to get this tool and you need to get this tool. You really want to build a business. You really want to be a seller on Amazon. You really want to grow your income and you really want to change your family's life. He says, yes. And he says, get this and get this. By the end of the day, Alpesh had it. Now, back up to 2015, when Gary Ray was my first coaching student, I was his first coach. And I said, at the end of the time, he sort of introduced himself, told me what his business looked like at the time. I said, buddy, I got 2 words for you: repricer and beauty. He'd never sold anything in the beauty category, and he didn't have a repricer. He looked at me and he said, by the end of the day, I'll have a repricer. And boy, he did. He didn't have understanding, but he had knowledge and he acted on it. So guys, I think you can trust us here at Amazon Seller Tribe because we have so many people who are doing it and it works. And Alpesh has this hanging around his neck right now as proof. Very likely by September, he's going to have this hanging around his neck as proof that it works. So even if you don't have the understanding, just take the knowledge and act on it.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop you, but I mean, I still don't know what I'm doing. Like,
but you're looking good. You're really looking good at it.
How many in the tribe people I almost text almost every day? Hey, how to do this? How to do this? How to do this? Because look, my buyers, my wife, they buy it for me, and because I don't buy, so a lot of times they do it, and once I sell it, I get an idea. So a lot of times I don't know what to do, and that's why we have a great people. I mean, I'm telling you, it's blowing my mind. Like, always never understood that there will be a group of people are so helpful. Like, you can reach out to anybody, including me. If I know it, I'll tell you the perfect answer. But again, if I don't know, if I'm not telling you, means I don't know. But there's so many good people. I just text them. I mean, of course, we have to give them privacy.
Or a lot of times you post it in the tribe, in the news stream in the tribe, and people would hop on and answer your question.
Yes, that's amazing. Like, wow. I mean, like, I remember when I started, I ask almost every week one thing. Like, okay, it could be shipping related, it could be packing related, it could be buying some key parts, anything. If you ask, you will, like the story you just said. There's 2 things I learned from them. A is the guy was nervous. If he would not have a courage to reach out to you, he would not able to buy or understand or learn that. And the second thing is, if you didn't take action to reach out to Andy, this would have never happened. So that's 2 things. Like, again, approach. Don't worry what the worst thing a person gonna say no, or worst thing they're not gonna respond you. Guess what? You have another person in line. Reach out to them. Simple it is.
Come on. Well, you're preaching good tonight, Alpesh. Woo!
Learn from the best.
Matthew, he's doing good, isn't he? That's what's great about Tribe, Matthew says. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Do what Gary does. Get what Gary's got. It's so simple. Man. We've said that how many times, right? Yeah. You know, so what we're really wanting to try to get in the hearts and minds of new sellers and those who are new to Amazon Seller Tribe is we're just a bunch of folks that have linked up arms and are just helping each other change lives. Change the lives of your family members, change the lives of your children, change the lives of your grandchildren, very likely. Very interesting thing, we have one of our very first Amazon Seller Tribe members And she wasn't one of our first 6, but I think she was one of our first 8 or 9, Ruth Narveson. And now she actually has her grandchildren working with her in the business. We have several people who have their kids working with them in the business. I'm thinking of Rex and Jenny Keltner, whose girl Izzy just graduated. The triplets just graduated. Actually, Izzy finished high school a little earlier than the other 2 because the other 2 wanted to stay for the activities. But anyway, point being, Izzy's working for Jenny and Rex. They're gold lanyard sellers. And there's many of these mother-son, mother-daughter, son-son duos that work in Amazon Seller Tribe with us. And it really does change lives when you're able to give information, knowledge, and then later layer in understanding that helps people take that action, and then not only take action, but take massive action. So let me just do a minute of personal coaching, if you don't mind. Benny, how long are you going to be at the town that you're in right now?
So we're actually leaving tomorrow. We've been here for about 6 nights now. So tomorrow will be our last day here.
Okay, let me ask you this. Before you leave town, do you think it's possible to go back to that outlet store and buy 18 more pair of shoes?
I mean, I don't mind doing that. I'm only do you see us? Can you see my wife here?
Yeah. I see her. I see her.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even sure if our camera's
Number
on.
1, she's gorgeous. Number 2, I'm like, Benny, you better pay attention, buddy boy, because she's beautiful.
She is beautiful. I married way up. Way up. Now she's turning red. But yes, I thought about it. We have 2 issues. First is I don't know how much room we have left in the van. We have 3 kids.
Oh yeah.
And then other than that, like I said,
put one of them on the top.
We may, this is important. And then the other thing is, like I said earlier, I don't know. So what I was doing yesterday to kind of hurry up is I was scanning things, and if anything was above a certain ranking, I just didn't even look at it. I moved on.
Right.
So if I go back tomorrow, I'm assuming I can find similar, but again, I don't know how much of it'll sell and how quickly. So I'm just concerned how much to buy. But otherwise, if you were here with me, you can clean out the bank account.
Benny, if you go tomorrow, just call me.
Exactly.
I may.
Come on. Trade numbers. Exactly. So, Benny, I will send you something that will absolutely help you. It will be the easiest help you'll ever get. And if you are in the store tomorrow and you get tied up or confused or whatever, message Alpesh or get his phone number and call Alpesh. And if he's not in the middle of therapying, what do you call them? Customers?
Patience.
No,
Patience.
Patience.
Oh my God.
I knew there weren't customers, but the word just left me. If he's not in the middle of that, he'll respond. But I guarantee you there'll be several people who have been on this live tonight who would respond to you and direct you in the right way. But my point of saying that is sometimes when you're getting your toe wet, you're dipping your toe in the swimming pool, you're like, I'm not sure if this move is right, but I want to commend you because you made the move. Right, Alpesh? He made the move. And so now what he needs to do is get in his mind and heart, okay, I made the move. If this is the right direction, now I scale up. I double that. The next time I go, I triple that. Another time I go, do you see what I'm saying? You begin to scale when you find that right way. And I'll send you something here, Benny, after we get off that'll help you know whether or not you're in the right place to go. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, awesome. Oh, yeah, right. Matthew, I forgot about that. Matthew's saying he remembers meeting the 13-year-old at the Tribe 5 meetup that is her mom's buyer. Alpesh, did you get to meet that little Brandy?
Oh, I'm telling you, after that, I was like, anything can possible in this business. Wow.
Come on, she's a buyer for her mom and her dad. They live down on the border in Texas. And wow, yeah, Matthew says, throw it in a box and pay Amazon to label it. Use a Kinko's to print your labels and ship it off before you go home. You're right, Matthew. We've actually done that. We did some, and actually we've got some tribe members right now. They're not on here because I talked to them just before this, and they're doing RA nomad trip right now. And so they're doing that very thing. They're going to be buying all day tomorrow, shipping like a maniac tomorrow night and on Saturday, and then flying back to their respective places. This happens all the time, right? So I'm not hyping this, am I, Alpesh? I'm just telling the truth. Yes,
I agree 100%.
All right. So guys, we've answered some questions. There's still a lot of questions we could answer. Benny, is there something on the tip of your tongue that you didn't get to have answered tonight?
So main question in my wife's mind is, how long does this hustle continue before I can quit my job? But yeah.
It's hard. I mean, he doesn't get to bed till midnight, most nights. Yeah. So I don't want to quit it because I know that there's money to be made, but this is hard.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What if you needed to spend almost every minute for the next 6 months, just have your head down and just grinding as hard as possible for the next 6 months? Could you stand that? Could you support that activity out of him?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like, hey, between now and December 31st, Benny, just give it all you got. Even if I don't see you, even if the kids don't hardly ever see you, just give it all you got for the next 6 months. Yeah, would you give him up for that? Mm-hmm. Would you assist him in any way you could for that and still take care of your children?
She's already doing that. She's amazing.
I mean,
my biggest thing has been, for me, the hardest thing is like not having a trajectory, like date in mind. I don't want to do this forever, but if I have like 6 months, I can do it for 6 months or whatever. How
many that's on here right now? There's 20 people watching live in Amazon Solar Tribe. There'll be several people who will see this later. And then we're on here right now. Sierra's on here right now. Alpesh, you speak to this. I'm going to definitely speak to it. But how many of you on here right now honestly believe if they put their heads down and grind it out for the next 6 months, on December 31st, 2021, Diana is going to have the absolute answer to her question? How many of you believe that right now? We got hearts going up, like, a bazillion hearts going up right now.
I'm 100% confident.
100%.
Can I, Gay, if you don't mind, can I give you my experience just for like
absolutely
2 minutes? Okay, so I started last year January, but actually I started moving by, I think it was June or May last year. So it's almost a year now. Until then, I was trying to work out with the brand and getting and all the stuff. You guys already can sell Nike. You can sell a lot of other big brands. That's amazing. Like, that's out of like park right now. So when I started from June to September, I was up almost every day till 2 or 3 in the morning, along with my daily work. I did that. Yeah. But after that, like I understand what you guys meaning, because my wife complained the same thing, like what's going on, and I started affecting. But then actually, that's why the tribe coaching round, it helps, because they helps you to systemize things, right? So now, then start learning. So I have this thing, learn process, make process, and teach process. So I want to learn, then I want to make it. So I want to kind of create a system a little bit. And then I was like, okay, this little thing, I can have somebody do it. Okay, then that person comes in. You don't have to have a full-time prepper shipper. You don't have to have anything. Like, look, we had a shipper here just twice a week. Don't look at what other people are doing. Look what is working for you guys. And that's what I did. What worked for me was that, okay, I didn't have that many merchandise, but then I needed time. So what I did is I concentrated on building business, and I hired a prepper and shipper just part-time, because I come home at 5 o'clock. So the guys here 3 times a week, 5 to 9 they work here. So I work with them, help them to shape, let them understand, and after that I work on the business. So that continue. But now if you look at this year, I don't do nothing. Like I'm lazy. So
I got lazy myself. I know.
I mean, not, so it would be lie if I say I don't do nothing. I mean, of course I
Right.
do, but then
Right.
the question is, my time more focusing about talking to different tribe people,
Right.
different like, you know, kind of understanding, talking to different people, find some, like, you know, group where you want to have like talk regularly, you can trust them, like, you know, tribe own group, and then you kind of build up, and that's what we did. And that's why tribe 6 would be beneficial, because tribe 4 and 5 actually changed my life completely. And that's how I learned, because I couldn't do it too. I getting tired, I was losing myself. I was like, this is now I join things. So that's why I said learn, make, and then teach somebody, and you're good to go.
Come on. You are dropping the gold, buddy. You are flat dropping the gold. So Diana, if you don't mind, if I'll just say this, if you will let him put his head down and work for 6 months, like he's never done before, hard, smart, fast, you know, strategy, whatever, and you will assist in whatever way you can within the boundaries of what you have with children. I mean, I'm a mother. I had 4, so I know they were all a year and apart, you know. So I had a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old. Run the numbers. I know what you're doing. I understand this. But at the same time, if you will let him do this, I will guarantee you December 31st, 2021, if you will just continue to do first what we teach you, all right? So seek the knowledge. Later, you're going to gain understanding as you go, as you grow. If you will continue to do that, you absolutely will have, hands down, an answer to your question that will blow your ever-loving mind. Now,
Ready
the
for
reason
it.
I can say that is because, number one, you haven't been through tribe coaching yet. Number two, you haven't been through Q4 yet. Q4 2021 is going to be off the chain. We've got some people in tribe who have sold, and Matthew, I mean, this is low numbers for you, buddy boy, but there are people in tribe that have sold 400,000, 500,000 in product in 1 month of Q4. I'm telling you the honest truth.
Okay, if you remember, I think Matthew had an interview with Gary, 1 million in 90 days, I believe so. It was right?
80 days. Matthew, what was it?
1 million, and that was before.
It was, I mean, it was insane. Point being is you're going to get some things under you're going to get your feet under you. You're going to get your systems in place. What's going to happen to you? You're going to build your inventory, and we're building a head of steam right now, aren't we, Alpesh? I mean, all of us in our inventory right now is building a head of steam. We're going to test out that head of steam here with Father's Day and Prime Day, all kind of rolling up on the same time. We're going to see some really great things in June. And those shoes that you just picked up at Nike Outlet, you're going to be super happy that you got them. You know, ship them as quickly as you can. I mean, as soon as you walk in the door, drop the suitcases at the front door and say, babe, I'll help you put them up later. Get those shoes in, get that inventory in as fast as you can, go live. It's going to fly. Now, as you grow, you're going to get your feet under you, and you're going to say, you know, wait a minute, Gabe was right. I should have, I promise you, we all say this. All of us say this. At the end of Q4, we all say, what? Everybody in unison say the same words.
Yes.
We should have bought more.
Yes.
We should have bought more because it just blows your mind. So anyway, Emilio says, I can't wait for Tribe 6 to be there for the first time after what I've heard. Yeah, so Emilio, what it is it's a 90-day coaching round, and then a part of that is the face-to-face meetup, where generally a lot of great connections are made and a lot of magic happens in a trusted environment with trusted people. Krupa, yeah. Yeah, Kripa, you're right. You know, you're a hustler, Chicklet. I mean, geez, Diana, I'm gonna tell you this. We got some ladies here. His wife included, put them babies in the shopping cart,
Yeah.
and go scanning at the store, have stuff back at the house for him to ship when he got home from work. Ain't that the truth, Alpesh?
100%. Yes.
What I'm talking about. You know, I can't even describe for you, really, do it justice, the picture that we all saw of Rachel Ibrahim. You remember that, Alpesh?
Yes.
She's
Wow. Yeah.
at a Sam's store. Her cart is overflowing with stuff. She's got 3 babies in the cart. It was holding one and it got fussy. She's trying to get through the line. And one of our other tribe members walked up to her, didn't know she was in the store, saw her, walked up to her, took the baby out of her arms and held the baby while she transacted the business, and she got that product home. They're well on their way to the gold lanyard. Point being, there is the hustle phase, and it can be just kind of, you know, unsavory at time. It can be sweaty at time. But when you see those sales numbers coming in, and you see that money dropping into your bank account, and you roll it into inventory again, and then it grows and it grows and it grows. And all of a sudden now you're up to 60,000 a month, 70,000 a month, 80,000 a month. And now you're like, you know, hey, we've all do this full time, and forget that dental hygienist business or whatever it is you want to forget. For me, I was a caregiver. It was easy to forget that part because, you know, I was like, I got a tiger by the tail, you know, and
For us, Kate, I think the next step that we keep kind of trying to decide what to do is, do we hire someone to help out to move things along a little bit more quickly? Because at this point, we can't ship more than once a week with the time that we have. And the other concern that I have is, if I hire someone, how careful are they? Because I've been suspended twice now in about 9 months.
Gotcha.
Which put the fear of God in me to do anything wrong at all ever again. And so I just can't imagine someone being careful enough to not get us suspended again, especially if we quit our jobs and make this full time. That's where we are at this point.
You know, every one of us came to that point where we're like, you know, is it time to, you know, cut the rope and make that transition and go? And only you know, and you will know when it is that time. In the meantime, you're already hitting on some great ideas where you began to outsource part of your task. In the beginning, of course, learn the processes, perfect the processes, as Alpesh says, and then teach the processes. You know, processes are really easy to teach. We've got 2 girls in the warehouse. Colleen has trained them. If it's an item that's like this, you handle it this way. If it's an item that's like this, you handle it this way. It's an item like this, you handle it this way. She's worked with them for a couple of days in the process, started working, just checking in with them a little bit over the next couple of days. And after that, they were up and going on their own, and they kill it. You know, Alpesh, you've done the same thing. Each one of us have done the same thing. So the answer is there for you. Be encouraged. You're in the right place at the right time. My only regret for you is that we're not rolling out Tribe 6 today. Because if we could, but we got to give our people a little time to rest, you know? I mean, what I mean by that is get their vacations in, and for me and Gary to take a little time to rest. And so anyway, so it's got to happen like that. Otherwise, it's no fun for us too. So it's got to be fun for us. That's why we do it. Matthew says the payoff, when you can see it, is worth the grind. It can seem unfathomable until all in the sudden, bam, it hits you and you realize this is going to be my new life. Riding until the wheels fall off. Yeah. Well, that's a trick. Now, Matthew got his legs cut out from under him during COVID last March. You know, he was working. He's like, I'm hustling, side hustling. All of a sudden, he's not working his full-time job anymore because COVID shut it down. He's like, all of a sudden, he turned and he went like a firecracker, didn't he, Alpesh?
Oh my God, that I'm saying, is a machine. Like I always talk to him like, I don't even know. He's the best guy ever known. It's amazing, like the way he does his stuff. I mean, he's an inspiration, actually. You know, the way
Yes.
if you talk to him, he doesn't have like no like mercy on you. He's not gonna tell you, oh, you shouldn't. No, get up and go. Like that kind of thing. It's amazing. He's amazing.
He is. He is. Well, we're running out of time tonight. Matthew, by the way, just rolled over his 3 million for the last 12 months. And so, yeah, you can change lives with 3 million in revenue, and the profit from that can be sweet little pile of cash for sure. So that's awesome. Okay, guys, we have run out of time because Gay can only do this for a certain amount of time, and then she runs out of time. And I don't want to keep you longer than this. And I've got something to send Benny that's going to blow the top of his head off. And then Diana will say, Gay Lisby, I love you. You're the best thing that ever happened to our marriage. You're the best thing that ever happened to
No, already I gotta say, Gay, one other thing. So I've only been a part of Tribe for a couple weeks now, really not a long time, I feel like, but the things that I've learned, and then the openness of the members and the encouragement has been just incredible, really.
Yeah.
To have a group of people that are doing it and willing
Right.
to share is pretty incredible to find, I think, in this space. Most people, it feels to me like this is a secret and you don't get to know what I'm doing, but that's just complete opposite. And I really appreciate that, and what you and Gary have been able to create here has been just amazing and a blessing for our family.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you know,
find a Christian group too.
yes,
Yeah.
and thank you for saying that. And so one of the reasons why this works here in Amazon Seller Tribe is the guy that you see sitting right next to you, Alpesh. It's guys like this who come in and soak up the knowledge and then are willing to help other people. You know, him getting on here tonight and telling what he's been through, the questions he had, the hurdles he's jumped over, you know, and sowing, as Gary teaches, you know, us with an open hand, you know, because we sowed into Alpesh. There were people who reached out to him personally. There were people who, you know, Gary and I both just bringing him in and getting him the information that he needed, and other members of the tribe. And he felt that welcoming environment, and so he flourished. And the only reason this works is because of the members. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but we absolutely have the best members on the face of the earth. And I think I'm honest by saying that, because we can't, over and over again, we just can't, we can't even understand it. It just keeps happening, and so many people keep getting their gold lanyard over and over again. It just keeps happening, and so we know it works, so we just stick with it. And thank you for saying that, Diana. Thank you for saying that, Benny. We appreciate you guys being here so much. So hopefully you've received some value from our time tonight, and I'd like to do these once a week. I'm going to try to see if we can do just like a new seller hangout, or new seller, you know, get together like this at least once a week. You can ask questions, even take your camera into your prep and ship room and say, do I push this button? Do I do this? Do I do that? Or what do I do when I can't get the residue off from this dang sticker? You know, anything that you've got a question about, we want to try to help the new sellers really get off to a great start. And then you'll hit that tribe coaching on a upward trajectory, and then we just got to get you ready for Q4, because we don't want you to miss what's about to come. It just gets exciting, doesn't it, Alpesh?
Oh, love it. I'm so ready for that.
Well, everybody give Alpesh a great shout out for hitting his silver lanyard. He and Creeper hitting their silver lanyard status. I want you to give him copious amounts of love and blessings for that. And we look forward to the next moment when we're going to be putting that gold lanyard around your neck, Alpesh.
I was about to relax. I was like, okay, now I can go out and enjoy this weekend. But guess what? I'm going to Nike store again, because now you told me I need to get that gold lanyard now. So I'm running out of time already.
Come on. I'm going to give you a gold lanyard in Pennsylvania
Uh-oh.
And Andy Slamans might give you a 5-pound Hershey's chocolate bar.
Okay.
If you've never been given a 5-pound Hershey's chocolate bar by Andy Slamans, you haven't lived yet. And so you're about to find out what that's all about. It's going to be awesome. Guys, thank you for being with us tonight. Vinny, I'll shoot you a message here in a minute. And I think you got a friend there right beside you. Alpesh is on the opposite coast from you, but he's one of our valued members. You're going to love him so much. So guys, thanks for being on with us tonight. Appreciate each one of you so much. I'm leaving the room now. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jay. We love you.
All right. Thanks a lot.